Let's talk Tanya for the 11th of Tamuz of a leap year. Today we begin the third part of the book of Tanya, known as Igeris HaTeshuvah, which translates literally as the letter about Teshuvah, but it comprises basically 12 chapters which explain to us the mystical and Hasidic significance of Teshuvah. When the Alter Rebbe first published Tanya in 1796, as we mentioned when we started the second part of Tanya, the Alter Rebbe published two parts of Tanya. Likutei Amarim, the first part, 53 chapters. The second part, Sharichut Vamuna, 12 chapters. And those two parts, the first part of Tanya was about our behavior, thought, speech, and action, also a little about our feelings. The second part of Tanya, Sharichut Vamuna, is all about our perspective. It is the philosophy of Chabad, how we view God, how we view the world's creation, monotheism, etc. 2 years later, the Alter Rebbe republished Tanya, and this time he added a third section, which is the current section, which we're going to be starting to learn today, Igeris HaTeshuvah. And for the duration of the Alter Rebbe's lifetime, Tanya consisted of these three parts. After his passing, his sons added on another 2 parts of Tanya. We'll talk about that when we get there. But which is interesting to note that in the Alter Rebbe's mind, you might want to say the trilogy of Tanya was these 3 parts. Again, Likutei Amarim, Sharichut Vamuna, Igeris HaTeshuvah. You might want to say the 3 pillars of Chabad Chasidus are how avoda, or how to act, haskala, our understanding of God, and then Teshuvah. Or you could put it differently, perhaps. Alter Rebbe tells us what to think and what to do when we mess up. But this gives us a tremendous insight into just how important Teshuvah is to the Chassid. In fact, in other places in Chasidus, it's explained that the very reason why our souls came down here into this world to inhabit our bodies is so that we should be able to do Teshuvah. In the higher worlds, we can be tzaddikim, we can be perfect people. But in order to have the advantage and the greatness of Teshuvah, for that we have to come down over here into this world. So, the Alter Rebbe begins today's Tanya citing a teaching from the Talmud. And the Talmud tells us that there are 3 different types of atonement, and Teshuvah accompanies every single one of them. Meaning that there are 3 different types of mess-ups a person can make. Each one has a different type of atonement, but each one of them must, in order to accomplish that atonement, we first must do Teshuvah. And what are they? So if a person violated a positive command, in other words, the Torah says, do something, and the person did not do it. Let's say a person did not shake lulav and esrog on Sukkos. So the Talmud tells us that that person does Teshuvah and is immediately forgiven. If a person violated a negative command, person, for example, ate non-kosher, the Torah tells us to do something and the person didn't do it, so then Teshuvah Toila, the Teshuvah pens. It's in limbo, so to say. It doesn't take immediate effect. V'yoyim HaKippurim mechaper, until Yom Kippur comes along, and when Yom Kippur comes along, that's when the atonement is finalized. If, however, the person's violation wasn't an ordinary mitzvah, but is in an area of a capital offense, so then Yom Kippur itself also doesn't finish the job. Then what happens is suffering comes upon a person, and once the person has that suffering, the suffering cleanses the person, and the atonement is finalized. However, what the Alter Rebbe points out is that we say, V'teshuvah im kol echad, regardless of what the atonement is and how long it takes for the atonement to be finalized, all of these are predicated on the fact that a person does Teshuvah first. Teshuvah, which is commonly translated as repentance, and the obvious question is, what is Teshuvah? What is the Teshuvah which brings about the atonement? And that will be the topic of tomorrow's Tanya.